Good morning. It is just after 8 o'clock on a Wednesday morning, and that means it's time for the Sports Bite. Michael Ryan alongside Connor McKnight and Fabian Harris. And hey, look! Everybody's here and on time!
Yes.
It's a miracle.
Miracles do happen, yes. Welcome back from Pink Eye. Did you figure out who farted on your
Oh my god.
No, so get this. This is a PSA right here, okay?
Okay.
And this is Fabian Harris speaking to you guys out there. Good morning, and wash your hands. I go to the Bew and I say, "Hey, I have pink eye." This is what they tell me. We have, a spectacular staff at the Bew here at Western. But I was like, "Hey, so how long am I out?" They said, "Well, yeah, we recommend that you're out 2 to 3 days or whatever it stops being red. But if you want to go to class, that's fine too." And I said, I'm pretty sure that's probably how I got it.
Yeah.
Probably. And I was like, well, it's okay. I'll deal with that. We just roll with that. So, yeah, wash your hands, guys, please.
No, yeah, definitely. Number one thing that a lot of people just forget to do. It's a basic thing that we're all taught from a young age.
Wait a minute. I think we're burying the lead. You had a contagious disease.
Oh my god, we're looking this up now.
And they were like, nah, bro, it's fine to go to class.
Yeah. Well, they were like, we don't recommend it, but we can't stop you. I mean, that's true. They can't stop you, but for the greater good, please stop me. Chain these people down, because that's probably. I'm a clean guy. I'm like a germaphobe, but it could have been me just borrowing somebody's hand sanitizer. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Put my finger on the hand sanitizer.
Exactly.
Then,
germs are spread very easily.
Things, so.
Well, my girlfriend's like that. Like, she'll be like, "Oh, I just threw up. I have the flu." All right, see, I'm going to class. I'm like, why? You're making everyone else sick.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, on today's show, we've got some fun things planned. We'll talk WIU volleyball first. Fabian gets a reprieve from football because at some point we will have Max Norris in studio to talk Western football. And then we'll have a lot of NBA today. We have less than a week. We will not have a show before the NBA's regular season starts because it starts on Tuesday, October 22nd. So we will have the Connor McKnight's Change My Mind, which ties in perfectly with this week because we're going to be doing conference predictions.
Ooh. Very nice, very nice.
In the NFL, we'll have Fabian's Change My Mind, and also we will talk about picks.
This must change my mind from...
Yes,
from last week.
Yes. That should have run last week, but you were not here, so we could.
It's cool. They can still try to change my mind. I've seen otherwise.
They can still try, but they won't.
It definitely won't. It's solidified now.
So, Western Illinois women's volleyball had 2 games over the weekend. And you heard both of those, if you were listening, on 88.3 The Dog. Friday night did not go so well. They were swept 3-0 by Omaha and didn't look pretty. Set 2 looked pretty competitive, but 1 and 3 were not especially pretty. There was a lot of miscommunication that the players and coach seemed to be unhappy with. Mm-hmm. Coaches seemed to be unhappy with. And then came Sunday against Oral Roberts, and they swept the Golden Eagles 3-0 for the first time in program history, and they beat the Golden Eagles of Oral Roberts for the first time since 2007.
Wow.
And they looked mighty impressive doing it.
They probably realized coming off that Friday sweep that they were like, you know what?
See, Mike, you're so pessimistic. He said not so great, and then they do something like that. That's great. That's pretty great.
Well, no, it is. But and here's the great thing. Here's what makes that game so special. Not only is it a team that, even when they've been, they haven't been above 500 in 5 years, but even when they've been closer to 500 or above, they haven't beaten them in 12 years.
Yeah.
They've no matter what, always beaten Western. Their down years, their up years, our down years, our mid years. But here's the other thing too: is they got out to a 5-0. I think it was 5-0 in set 1. It was either 5-0 or 4-0. Big lead in set 1. Kept it the whole way and made it bigger. And then Oral Roberts kept it kind of competitive at the end.
Yeah.
Set 2. Big lead, made bigger, beat them worse. Set 3, Oral Roberts gets out in front, has the lead for most of it, or gets out to, I think there was a 4-point spread. It was like 5-1 Oral Roberts in set 3. Then by 10 points, there was only a 2-point deficit. Then by like 13, they're trading back and forth constantly. We're just going mano a mano.
Yeah.
And then Western gets on a run to close out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but isn't that the trend of we've been seeing Western do that where they start big and then blow it. Mm-hmm. But this time they found a way to stick it out, and that's the thing that's like important about it. You talked about the coach saying, we had to make winning a habit. That's how you make winning a habit right there. One of those close games, because that's when you figure out what your team is made of and the stuff that you need to actually be a winning program. Because I mean, this is college. A lot of great athletes are here playing collegiate sports.
Yeah.
They're gonna make it close. It's their job. And so the way you figure out that way to win, to stick it out no matter how close it is.
No.
Which I feel like the football team is like almost suffering with right now, is that we just got to find a way to win those close games. Just make those few clutch plays go our way. So
no, exactly. I mean, the team just did a great job. I mean, they held them in the first set under 20 points, and the second set to only 13 points. Yep. And then the third set, like you said, was the most competitive, where it was back and forth, and Western only won by 4, but it was a comeback, and that was just a great sweep. Definitely needed that good program recognition right there.
And here's the big thing with it, too, is so the two things that always get emphasized when I talk to Coach is receiving the serve. And Aubrey Putman got targeted the whole weekend, and she got targeted so much they brought in Erica Moore for a little bit in the Oral Roberts game. Receive was so much better against Oral Roberts, and I think this was their best game of the season purely because they had that 1 and 2. They had those sets like against Mississippi State, or like that, or like set 1 against Drake, or some of these other games where it's like that right there. Bottle that, keep that. That team will make the Summit League tournament, and like they probably won't beat South Dakota, but that right there, that's a really freaking good volleyball team.
Yes.
And they finally were able to bottle that for an entire game.
Yes.
And not only finish 2 sets, but come from behind and then finish off a third one and finish off a sweep, their first sweep in over a month. So this was a big Sunday for them. And here's the other thing, too, that is really, really promising. The biggest issue for Western by far has been attacking errors. Or errors in general.
Yeah.
Western hit 30% on total, which is huge for them. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I don't think it is at all unreasonable to say that maybe other than Jackson State, there is a darn good chance that is their best number all year by a few percentage points.
Yeah.
And set number 2, they had only 2 errors. Set number 1, they had 4. Set number 3, they had 5. And set number 1, they didn't have an error until like point 16 or 17 in that set. So they were really efficient, which is something that Coach Dopey has been begging and pleading for this year. And this was a big game for them. Now they know how to be efficient. They can have that in their brain that, hey, we were efficient closing and can't come
exactly.
We did everything that we haven't been doing for the past 2 years. We did all of that
in one game.
And we know how to do that. And let's hope they can bring that forward, because their next 2 games are 2 buzzsaws. Denver is always really good. That's on Sunday. And then South Dakota is on Friday. And the South Dakota Coyotes, on the postgame show, Coach Dopey said they were top 30 in the country. They could, depending on who wins and who loses, they could be top 25 by the time they get to Western on Friday. The South Dakota Coyotes have not lost a game since Tuesday, September 3rd against Iowa State.
Wow.
They are 17-1 on the year.
I'm sorry, who is this again?
This is South Dakota.
They'll lose.
They'll lose.
They have won 14 straight and have had every Summit League Player of the Week but 5.
Wow.
Like 5
They are
individuals.
just- yeah,
and
yeah.
There have been like 15 possibilities of individuals
Yeah.
winning something
Now,
like
has
that.
it been like just one stud, running the table?
No. They're a full team of Terminators.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great.
So, I mean, Western coming off that sweep on Oral Roberts is definitely awesome. But, yes, these are two definite, going to be 2 hard games to
But
play.
I will say this, though. You know that Denver team's another team that Western hasn't been able to beat? But I will say this. If you beat South Dakota, then all bets are off,
Yeah.
and go find yourself a Summit League title.
No, exactly. I mean, and being on the road, too, is going to make it that much more difficult. But if Western can find a way to just keep playing that consistent volleyball like they did in that last matchup, I can definitely see this team turning this 5-14 right now, are they?
Yeah.
5-14. I can see them, maybe bringing this back.
Well, and look, I mean, you don't have to beat Denver and South Dakota.
You don't have
you
to.
know? I mean, like, the goal, the team-wide goal seems to be make the conference tournament.
Yeah.
And you've got Purdue, Fort Wayne, South Dakota State, North Dakota, and North Dakota State right in a row, 2 back-to-back home weekends, and you can hear all those games here on 88.3 The Dog. You've got, you've got 2 back-to-back home weekends after you go to South Dakota and Denver. Then you go to Oral Roberts in Omaha. Oral Roberts you already know how to beat. Omaha, maybe you solve their puzzle. And then you've got South Dakota and Denver here at home to end your year. So, once again, it's a winnable situation.
No, exactly. That's exactly what it is. I mean, it should be.
And it's one match. You don't want to overhype one match or one
No.
game or whatever.
No, exactly.
But still, that'd be a big deal. So, moving on from volleyball to Western Illinois Leatherneck football.
Look at that perfect transition. What's going on, bro?
Yeah. The timing's great, right?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes,
I
it
will let
is.
Fabian Harris take the floor.
You want to talk football?
Yeah, it's
you,
time.
You can go ahead and do your thing with football. I'll go ahead and just take over when it comes to like the interview thing. Go ahead. All right, I'll do my thing with football. Okay.
That's what I thought.
No, Mike, go ahead.
All right. Western football dropped another one. They are now 0-6 on the season. They dropped 20-10 to the Indiana State Sycamores in front of 7,200 people at Memorial Stadium in Terre Haute, Indiana. Why is every football stadium in America called Memorial? Just had to say that. Terre Haute, Indiana. End of kickoff time, 1 o'clock, end of game, 4:08. It was a cool one, 50 degrees as it's been in the Midwest. No scoring in the first but second quarter. Western caps off a long drive. Connor Sampson to Jared Drake for a 23-yard pass. Nathan Erickson, 38-yard field goal at the end of the first half to make it 10-0. And at this point, things look pretty good. Western's up 10-0. Defense is playing really well. Shut out Indiana State so far in the first half. Got some opportunities. The Erickson field goal as a result of a recovered muffed punt. And even though, there may have been an opportunity cost with that, you probably could have scored a touchdown. But hey, still, 10-0, good lead at half. One of your best games all season. And then here comes Indiana State in the second half. With 8 minutes left, Dakota Canton gets a pass from Kurt Wildman from 3 yards away on a bootleg. 10-7 Western Illinois. Jerry Nunez ties it late in the third, makes it 10-10. Kurt Wildman from Dakota Canton puts the Indiana State Sycamores ahead for good with 8:30 left in the fourth. It's 17-10, and then Nunez a field goal for the extra insurance with 3 minutes to go. 20-10. That is your final score. Stat line for both sides. Sampson has a bit of a rough day. 15-34, 102 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Sacked 4 times once again. We'll talk about that more when we talk about them going against ISU. On the ground, Max Norris, 3 attempts, 46 yards. Tony Tate, 3 attempts, 29 yards. Deontes Thompson, 7 attempts, 27 yards. The ground game as a whole, losses and gains included, 143 yards, no touchdowns. But the big killer for this one looked like it was on paper anyway, it was the Indiana State rushing game. 46 attempts for them, 210 yards. That's 4.2 per carry. Indiana State used 2 quarterbacks in the game. Kurt Waterman, who had 2 touchdowns. And Gunnar C, who was 7-12 with 51 yards, no touchdowns, and Western was only able to get to Indiana State's quarterback one time. So this is, it kind of sounds like volleyball to me, where you have a good first half or a good first set or a good first two sets or whatever it is, and then you just cannot finish this off. And once again, it's another beatable team that if this was, if they weren't 0-5 already, you probably would have been favored in.
Yeah.
Just another one of those games.
So, just like I said with volleyball, I kind of alluded to it earlier. It's just finding a way to finish those games out. It's been a couple times this year we've seen Western has been right there on the cusp of winning, and a couple key plays go the wrong way. The ball just bounces the wrong way, i.e. the punt situation debacle against Montana. It's things like that. If the ball bounces the right way, you're in the game or you're winning that game. So it's just finding that way to win. After you find that first way to win, it becomes contagious. You just keep on winning,
And that's going to be a challenge because next up is the Illinois State Redbirds. And that team is really good. And I saw James Robinson face my Herscher Tigers when he was in the high school state playoffs, when he was at Rockford Lutheran. Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that was that is, and just for perspective, you think, well, it's some crappy country high school. No, so that was in 2015, and my Herscher Tigers had just beaten our arch rival Bishop McNamara Fighting Irish. We'd played for the first time since 1988, and in that game, McNamara's running back went to Central Michigan. Their starting running back, Jonathan Ward, who we limited to 40 yards on 35 carries. He wound up going to Central Michigan and was starting for the last time I checked. So that was a good run defense that had stopped D1 talent before, and James Robinson had 300 yards rushing.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, he's a ridiculous human.
Well, I saw a little bit of tape of him, and he's one of those people that just run with his shoulders forward, almost like this guy next to me. Just run with his shoulders forward, so even if you stop him, he's going to fall forward for at least 3 more yards. So you give him 2 yards, that's a 5-yard per carry back, and that's elite. That's elite level. So I think the main thing is just discipline this week. If the defense stays disciplined, they've shown they can stifle good run games. They stay disciplined. It's also rivalry week, and you've seen people become heroes with the capes on during rivalry week.
Exactly.
Lose to that team. I think it's going to be a good one here at Hanson Field. It might be electric.
Well, and I'm wondering if there's not going to be something extracurricular going on in this game, because that Missouri State game, by the end of that game, it looked like somebody was going to throw a punch. No, seriously, somebody was going to throw. I'm not saying Western's at fault. I'm just saying the first Valley game here at home, somebody looked like the punch was about to get thrown at various times throughout that game, and this is ISU and Western, and ISU thinks they're better at everything. So this will be an interesting game. Let's see what it is that impacts the game, and it may not be all on the field.
Well, like I said, this Western team, you've seen them go against everyone, toe to toe, and will not back down. So you got a team that's pompous, ISU. We know who they are.
Yeah.
And if they come in here acting as if they're everything on earth, it's a couple people that would love to bring them down their level.
Oh, exactly.
We'll stay composed, but they might get frustrated and throw a punch. I believe, that's a possibility.
All right, and speaking of Western Illinois football, Fabian Harris, I'll let you handle the guest.
So, can we go ahead and
take it away, my friend?
Yeah. Can we just go to a quick commercial? We'll come back and we'll get it started.
Yeah, you want to go to a break first?
Yep.
All right. When we get back, we've got Mac Norris in studio. This is the Sports Bite, 88.3 The Dog, Fabian Harris, Connor McKnight. Hey, everybody's actually here this week, and they were here before 8:45,
yep.
Connor.
Okay.
We'll be back
okay.
on 88.3 The Dog in a
Gonna
minute.
throw me under the bus.
Back on 88.3 The Dog, Michael Diane, Fabian Harris, and Connor McKnight. Thank you very much to Max Norris for joining us for the interview. All right. Let's get into the NBA. The season is under a week away.
Preseason's just about over.
And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. This is going to be the most interesting the league has been in a very long time.
No.
I can give you an exact season, actually.
Okay.
2012, Derrick Rose MVP year. That was an interesting time in the league. That the Eastern Conference was stacked.
That was when LeBron was on the Heat.
And it wasn't just. This is after the Heat had already been, deemed vulnerable.
Yeah.
By the Dallas Mavericks.
Because I think they lost that last year.
They lost the year before.
Yeah.
And Derrick Rose wins MVP.
The
Paul
anti-LeBron.
Yeah, Paul George and the Indiana Pacers were looking very solid. Oklahoma City was emerging as a young contender out of the West.
That was when they were making the Western Conference Finals all the time. Even the Thunder were definitely on top.
Well, they
of the
always
world.
were until KD betrayed us, but it doesn't matter. Westbrook's on the Rockets. I'm a Rockets fan now. So
me too.
So you want to talk basketball, Mike?
Yes, I do want to talk basketball.
What do you want to talk about in basketball? Because I got a whole spiel for you.
I got a whole plate.
We are going to cover. We are going to cover how to do. No, I'm kidding. I'm just messing with you, big man. Come on. We are going to cover the NBA season, and we are going to talk about how we think the conferences are going to shake out, and we're going to start with the East.
All right.
I'm game. I'm game.
Let's see. Let me go ahead and pull up my statistics.
We'll kind of go down the pecking order here.
Yep.
I would like from one of you two, we can start with whoever.
Okay.
I want the number
It's fine,
one seed in the East.
Number one seed in the East?
Isn't that a little unfair?
No.
Number one?
Yes.
No, I mean, I'm looking at it. I got to say, because I don't really know, not that I don't think KD and Kyrie aren't going to be able to run that team and run the
He's
East.
not coming back this year.
Oh, he's not?
No, they say there's.
I thought he was.
No, they said he's hopeful to come back. They say he's making like great return gains. He's not gonna.
If he does, it's really late.
It's not Kevin Durant.
Oh, okay. So you know what?
Even if he comes back, it's not gonna be.
I thought he was coming back a lot sooner than that.
So that's the weird thing with Brooklyn is they have KD and Kyrie, but KD's not going to be back until like the very end of the year. So that's where Brooklyn is kind of awkward for me.
Yeah,
because
that's why I was just
gonna
gonna
solid squad still.
Exactly,
they're still a solid squad. Kyrie, say what you want about him and the Celtics. Say what you want about Kyrie and the Celtics. Kyrie knows how to win a couple games here and there.
Yeah,
you know he definitely hindered the growth of that Celtics team, but that's because they wanted to make too many people the guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were really pushing a big Jason Tatum development. They wanted Gordon Hayward to be Gordon Hayward from the Utah Jazz after his injury, and then they also wanted to throw Kyrie in the mix, and it was like too many.
It just didn't work.
Ingredients in the mixing pot. You know, it became what is it? Skittle chili. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's Skittle chili. It's from a TV show, but
just some that doesn't work, obviously.
Exactly.
But no, speaking of what you said about that, I thought KD was going to be coming back a lot sooner, so I would agree with you. I'm a little bit on the fence about the Nets, but looking at the East right now, I mean, I might have to once again give it to the Bucks just because Antetokounmpo and those Bucks know how to win games. He knows how to win games for them. I think they might take the first seed this year, or maybe potentially Philadelphia. They finished third seed last year, I believe.
So here's my problem with Philly. The Bucks team just gels well. Yes. Antetokounmpo is an MVP.
Yes.
You know, and he's developing a jump shot, I heard, this year. Like, even more lethal jump shot where, you know, his jump shot last year, if you left him open, he wasn't Ben Simmons. He'll shoot it, and sometimes he'll make it.
Yeah.
My thing with Philly, though, if we're talking about, that's why I asked you at the beginning, I said, are we talking about our conference leader sans injury? You know, without injury? Because
no, just with assuming health from this point.
Assuming health from this point. So
like KD is out of the picture for Brooklyn, but we are assuming Embiid will play 82 games and not 40.
Yeah. Are you insane? Embiid will never play 82 games. Just because load management is a thing. Even if he's healthy, he won't play. He'll play 60 at best. But if Embiid plays 82 games miraculously and by some odd, feat of nature, that team is going to win 65 games. I told you, Mike. Joel Embiid is one of the most dominant players in the NBA. Top 10 for sure. When healthy. Top 10 for sure. Last year in the playoffs, his biggest knock towards him is that everybody was like, oh my gosh, he looks out of shape and non-conditioned. Well, when you don't play for half the season, like always, you have an injury, you're going to look a little out of shape and unhealthy in the fourth quarter. That's how you're going to look. But if he's playing an 82-game season, I don't see many teams beating this Philadelphia team. Ben Simmons is looking fluid, not just with his playmaking.
And I think he can shoot now. Or he's getting, he's working on it.
Well, not just that. It was a clip the other day that like really shocked me. Ben Simmons did a pull up. Now I don't care about a three. Russell Westbrook was very lethal with that OKC team we were speaking of back in 2012, 2013, with just pull ups from the elbow. And Ben Simmons hit a pull up from the elbow, contested on the Celtics, not some high school team like he hit the three on. And if he can bring that 6'10" into his arsenal, along with his top-notch playmaking and his freakish athleticism and finishing ability at the rim, you give some space to Joel down there to do the thing he does, which is dominate. I see Joel averaging something around 28 a game. Ben Simmons averaging. If Ben Simmons can average 20 and 12, something like that, that team's going to win 65 games.
Yep.
So it looks like we have Bucks at 1 seed.
Yep.
And then
I'll take Bucks at 1 in the East.
The next team off the board is Philly at the 2 seed.
No, at the 1 seed.
We're
Fabian's got the one.
Person, we gotta.
Well, let me get the 1 seed. He'll get the 2 seed. Then.
Okay.
No, and the reason I'm saying no to that is because I agree with Connor that the Bucks are going to be the 1 seed. So
really,
2 votes to 1. Yes.
What you realize they lost the biggest piece of them having all that momentum, right? Malcolm Brogdon isn't on that team anymore. Who's their point guard?
Giannis.
Okay, that's cool and all. Chris Middleton, Giannis. Chris Middleton had a breakout year. That's not something that he's consistently done, which is hit at that such a high clip like that. Like you had Brook Lopez giving you a couple threes here and there, which that's been progressing. But I mean, think about this man is what 32 now. That team is starting to age. Giannis is the only young piece, really.
Yeah.
And they meshed well because of Malcolm Brogdon early in the season. That's why people thought that they would be finals contenders, is because of how elite Brogdon was playing. He was playing like that Rookie of the Year that he won, which was considered the worst Rookie of the Year of all time. But still, nevertheless,
No, Michael Carter Williams.
Michael Carter Williams, what? Oh yeah.
Worst Rookie of the Year.
I mean, he was looking good, dude. Almost triple double, but he was like.
Remember when he was on the Bulls?
He had a strange.
No, I prefer not to.
Exactly. Did you guys know? I mean, this might be a little random, and I just might be stupid. There's another Antetokounmpo on the Bucks.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
there's
They
two.
got 2 brothers.
Yeah.
And his other brother's on the the Lakers.
No, really.
Is he?
Yep, they signed the other one. That's a mind
He's playing
game.
with his brother, who
That's a mind
isn't
game.
he averages 16 points a game. But I just realized that I didn't know he was going to be playing with his brother or one of his brothers.
Yeah.
So all right, so
Well,
let's get moving on here.
Yeah.
For the 3 seed, I'm gonna go with the Boston Celtics just because Brooklyn won't be healthy enough and they won't be at Boston's level until come playoff time. Connor McKnight, and we gotta speed up because we still got picks to go through and we gotta go through the West.
Yeah.
So Connor McKnight, your 4 seed.
My 4 seed, I might have to go with the Nets. I'll take the Nets in the 4 seed just because of the fact. I mean, I won't key in on it too much. They still have Kyrie. They still got Jared Allen, who's a good coming up center. He played very well last year, and so I think with Kyrie's playmaking and the pieces he has around him, without KD, they are gonna be a 4 seed, but obviously they won't top the conference.
All right, Fabian Harris, the 5th seed in the East.
Let me just run through you 5 through 8 real quick, just because if I say it, people be like, what? So, 5th seed in the East, I got the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero.
Do you think?
Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero. I got the Heat. I got the Heat because this Heat team has been mediocre with nothing. They have Jimmy. Jimmy's a ball player.
Yeah.
I got Miami Heat. Then I have the Pacers because I don't know how Oladipo's coming back. Then I have the Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
If John Wall can not be a terrible person for just half a season, and they actually incorporate him and Brad Beal like they used to do, and then so that's 7, right? And then 8, I have a sleeper. I have the Atlanta Hawks. I have the Atlanta Hawks at 8.
I mean, I can see the Atlanta Hawks are a coming up team.
All right, well, we'll the guy who's on NBA crack over here. Yeah.
What do you mean? Atlanta Hawks is a young nucleus. Like
our own 1 through 8, our own 5 through 8 is not the worst idea in the world. So I'll just do that. Indiana is 5.
Okay.
Understandable.
Orlando is 6.
I don't believe that.
Okay, what?
It's all centered around Vucevic and Augustine. Come on now.
That'll
I
fall. I
fall.
love Nico Vuce, and I really like Jonathan Isaac.
Jonathan Isaac. They really
Even over here
7
like,
is
wait,
the
what?
Hawks.
7 is the Toronto Raptors. I don't think they will miss the playoffs without Kawhi. They won't be nearly as good, but they will not miss the playoffs.
So you're telling me Kyle chokes a lot, Lowry?
They will make the playoffs, not do good in them.
Kyle has never did anything good in his life. No, that's too harsh. Kyle Lowry is nothing without DeMar DeRozan. Kyle Lowry is nothing without Kawhi Leonard.
They will be the
He needs
7th.
that.
And he's 32.
Hey, it's got Siakam now.
As in the 8th seed in the East, I'm going to put a little bit of faith, and I'm going to say the Bulls because they have enough talent at this point that they should be the freaking 8th seed.
Or at
What-
least
what
go
talent?
500.
Lauri Markkanen.
Lauri Markkanen
Walt
is the
Lemon
top,
Jr. is gone.
Lauri Markkanen is the top 50 player in the NBA,
Okay.
and so is Zach.
Hold
LaVine.
on. Top 50 player. Zion is the top 50 player in NBA.
They have 2 top 50 players. Otto Porter's not a bad role player. We don't know what Wendell
Hold
Carter
on.
is.
Did you just call Otto Porter the $1 million man? Otto Porter?
He's not bad.
He is. He
No,
is
he
bad.
isn't.
Who's better, Jonathan Isaac or Otto Porter?
Otto Porter, he's a 3-and-D guy.
They both suck equally wrong. My gosh.
He's Robert Covington, but a little worse.
Exactly. Robert Covington's not top 50. He's not. He's
He's
not.
one of the best role players in the league. You and I will fight
Role player is not top 50. Oh my. Okay, go ahead. Go.
Bring out the boxing gloves.
Go ahead, Connor.
Let's move
Otto
on.
Porter isn't bad.
Your
Thaddeus
Bulls
Young,
won't win
the
20
bench-
games this year.
Wow.
Put a bet on it right now.
Wow.
Put a bet on it right now.
The bench is more talented than it's been. The starting lineup is talented. There's more talent in that starting lineup than in the stupid Heat.
You want to know who was a top 50 player, 3-and-D player? You want to know who that was? Nicholas Batum. You know who was a top 50 player, like an actual player?
Batum
Hold on.
was
Hold on. Kimba Walker. Who knows who's a good role player? Jeremy Lamb. Guess what team they play for? The Hornets.
Nope.
Okay, so that's what your recipe just gave me. Okay, that's what your recipe just gave me. They had those and they sucked.
There's 2 top 50 players and a top.
And it's like it's not like your coach is somebody, right? You have Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is like
holding them back.
like
It's
you
their
didn't even mention
coaches.
Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is actually the other top 50 player.
That's what I said. I said there's.
No,
two
you said
top-
Otto Porter. You said Otto Porter was
No,
top
no, no,
50.
No, he was saying he was a good.
No, I said Zach and Lowry are 2 top 50 players, and Otto Porter's decent.
If Zach LaVine can average 28 this year, which he has the capability of it, he has shooting and slashing. But if he averages 28, then I guess you maybe miss the playoffs by 1 game because you're garbage.
The Bulls will probably be under 500, but they'll make the playoffs because the rest of the East is just a pile of trash.
You have a poor man's freaking
including-
Kristaps Porzingis.
including the Miami Heat. And once again, Jimmy Butler will be off of that team midway through the year because
won't.
he is a locker room depth.
Did you
guy.
not see his press conference? He was like, "I'm not a bad person, guys." Like that.
Jimmy is the Antonio Brown of the NBA.
Wow, that's
Jimmy Butler is Antonio Brown.
that's risky.
Except he's not as good.
Are you insane? Do you people don't understand Jimmy? It's okay.
All
Just
right.
because he left you bums.
Let's move on. No,
You want me to-
let's move. He's gotten run out of every town he's played in. Let's move on to the West.
I'm pretty sure he
Fine,
left
skip
Chicago.
my 5 through 8 picks. It's fine.
Oh,
I'm
right.
just kidding.
Connor's 5-3. Yeah, we didn't do this thing.
No, okay, no, real quick. I'll say Pacers at 5, Wizards at 6. I might, you know what? I gotta say, I might go the Pistons at 7, 7 or 8, I should say, and then the Raptors.
You said the 7 worst
Sev-
teams?
No,
You said the worst?
no, 7. My 7th in the East. Is
Are you
gonna
one of
be-
those Derrick Rose hypes?
No.
Oh.
I
Blake
mean,
Griffin and Andre Drummond should make the playoffs.
Did you see the trade brewing? The possible trade?
for what?
D'Angelo Russell to the Pistons
No.
for Andre Drummond
No.
and like pieces.
No.
If the Golden State can pull it off, they're gonna be like.
I mean, I don't see why not, because they do have 2-star caliber point guards. As much as they'll find a way to
Well,
make it work, and I'm sure
D'Lo-
D'Angelo Russell isn't upset he's going to be the 6th man.
But Steph, you remember Steph is sitting at 6'3", D'Lo is sitting at 6'5", Clay was sitting at just 6'7". You know, so while Clay is out.
Yeah.
D'Lo
No,
can play
you're
the
right.
two.
You're right. He'll
So-
he'll be playing.
Well,
I forgot Clay was out.
But I've always heard rumors of D'Lo being traded.
Well, no.
Like-
the D'Angelo Russell signing to the Golden State Warriors was we're going to trade him when Klay Thompson comes back and get something else and get our big three back.
But they say
That's what that is.
They say Clay's not coming back to at least January now.
Well, yeah, that's the thing though. Is that's
Trade
how
deadline.
they
and the
get
trade
through.
deadline is what, in February?
Like, no, it's
It's
right,
January?
Yeah, it's like January like 14th. It's right before All Star.
All right,
Jeez.
let's get it rolling.
Yes.
All right, what's the conference? Come on, let's do it.
The Western Conference, the number one seed for me.
Just roll through all
The
your
New
eight.
Orleans
Just roll through
Pelicans.
your
And
eight.
this is the change my mind
Yep.
for the week.
Oh, should we
had
just?
no comments, so rip. The Clippers are the number one seed in the West.
You're insane.
Stop. Change my mind.
Being okay.
Change my mind.
Is it yours? Is your
Yeah.
mind too? Is both your minds?
It's
Yes.
it's
Okay.
what we posted on the page.
Okay, great. You ready?
Yep.
I'm gonna change it up.
If you go LeBron James, Anthony Davis.
It's not just that. You have a Clippers team with a underdeveloped coach, and yes, I call Doc Rivers an underdeveloped coach. He can't teach. He can't teach.
He's gonna turn him
talent.
off.
He was great when he had washed up stars that were willing to buy into his scheme. You have two ISO gods in Paul George. What you talking about the Clippers team from last year?
There was no better defensive team in the league than the Clippers. Are you?
You talk about
serious?
the okay. You put two people in the okay. I understand you're like, oh, we got two defensive people, and Paul George, who led the league in steals, and Kawhi Leonard, who's one of the most
Pat
locked down.
Bev. What?
Yeah, of course. And Pat Bev. I'm saying those guys are there. You added two new defensive guys. This is what I'm trying to tell you. That team last year won off of grit, right? They were that underdog team that just happened to pull it out. Adding these two players, Paul George, who hasn't won anything, Kawhi, who is probably one of the best basketball players in the NBA, who will only play 20 games, like he's load management. Do you understand? He's not. You guys are going to make it to the playoffs, and y'all might win the championship, but not the number one seed. Paul George is even out until late November with his shoulder. That's 20 games right there, or 10 games right there. Come on.
True.
Now.
True. That makes sense.
My number two seed in the West this year. I'm gonna go with Denver because they're a cohesive unit. They're together, and in the regular season, while some of the other teams with stars have growing pains, I'm not saying they'll be the second best team in the West. I'm saying in the regular season, Denver's my 2 seed, Houston's my 3, the Lakers are my 4. And then 5 through 8 is basically just a mishmash, grab bag. Portland will be there. I think Portland's probably 5. The Warriors 6, Utah 7, and Dallas 8.
I can see that.
Okay,
I can see that.
Number one, you said the Spurs are going to miss the playoffs.
Yes.
I understand that. Most people are scared to, admit that.
No,
fact, just because of, Popovich's reign. But number one seed is the Houston Rockets.
Okay.
No.
We're going off people are healthy, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Russ and Harden did not work.
They
in
were
OKC. Why is it going to work now?
It did work in OKC. The only reason that Harden
Where's
was
the title?
huh?
Where's the title?
No, the Heat took
Listen.
it from us.
Where's the title?
We had a
The Heat
terrible
took it
coach.
from us.
We had a terrible coach. How do you have that much talent and not win? That's all that was. And the Heat,
because that doesn't work together.
it does work together. The only reason why I didn't work OKC is because Harden was an underdeveloped defender, so they had to bring him off. They couldn't start him. They started a weak Thabo Sefolosha who couldn't score. But Harden now is what top four in the league in steals.
And
His
an
defensive
MVP.
efficiency has tripled since he's been at OKC. His defensive efficiency tripled. So and we're also going that they're healthy for the rest
I was
of the
like,
year.
I'm out.
So Houston Rockets are the number one seed.
Yeah, just run through them.
Lakers are number 2. Mm-hmm. Then 3, I can go with the Clippers. 4, I have Golden State. If they can actually
I mean,
you know
because
what?
they didn't, as much as they lost people, they didn't lose a whole bunch of key players that aren't going to be able to perform other than Clay being injured.
Yeah, it's Steph. We're saying Steph's gonna stay injured this whole year. Yeah, they said they're gonna play Steph 82 games. 4, Golden State. 5, Denver.
Okay.
6, 6, I'll go Portland. 7, I'll go Utah. 8, I'll do it. What the heck? Sacramento Kings, the AC.
Wow. You know what? I actually really like that. I did not think about that. But no, so real quick for me, first seed Clippers, second seed Houston Rockets, Third seed Denver Nuggets. Fourth seed is going to be. Actually, no, sorry. Third seed will be the Lakers. Fourth seed will be Denver. Fifth seed will be the Warriors. Sixth will be Portland. 7 will be the Jazz. And you know what? I'll take that bet with you too, with saying the Kings will make it. Barely.
By the way, I've got my change my mind for next week.
Oh, he's already got it.
Joel Embiid is not a top 3 center in the NBA.
Top 3 center? Are you crazy,
Yes.
Mike? You said top 10 player. You said no. Name 3 centers.
Nikola Jokic.
Yes.
Anthony Davis is listed at center now.
Okay.
I know he's a power forward. But
I'll take that. I'll take it.
Listed at a center.
I'll take that. Come on.
And
Say Vucevic, and I will jump across this table on you, Mike. I
Oh,
will.
please say it, because I want to see that. He's ready. He's in the football stands.
where have you been listing Kristaps? Because he's been getting time at 5.
You can have him at center. He's not better than Joel. You can put him at center in your crazy imagination. Right now. He's not better than Joel.
I
You know
also
that.
think that in the Boston system, Al Horford is better.
No. Because in the aspect of that, in the Magic system, Vucevic is quote unquote better. The Sixers were very congested last year, so Embiid didn't get to shine. But do you see what this man does now? Granted, he's overhyped to a degree because they say he's the best
wait a
player.
minute. If you're gonna go off like talent, Karl Anthony Towns and Joel Embiid should be right here fighting.
Karl
for
Anthony
MVP.
Towns. I don't know what's wrong with the
Anthony
Timberwolves.
Should be like the top 3 centers in the league should be some combination of Davis, Towns, and Embiid. If we're going off potential, but we're not going off potential, we're going off what actually happens.
Okay, off of what actually happens, Embiid went toe-to-toe with last year's MVP and beat him. He went toe-to-toe multiple times and outplayed Giannis.